Hey everyone, welcome back.
What is up? Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday. It is Friday, March 26th, which means absolutely nothing other than that there's another episode of Adobe Office Hours here with Nick and I. How are we all doing in chats? Doing well?
Yeah.
Also,
Look at everybody here.
if you see Nick and I today looking here and here and here, this is
It's one of those
another.
days.
It's one of those weeks where we don't just have slides for you. We're going to be pretty much hands on the entire time, which means that we'll be looking all over the place. Usually, chat, you're over here, and today you're over here. So
I
well,
like to call this Minority Report Day.
it
We
is.
got windows all over the place.
It's very true. Nick, go ahead and introduce yourself. It's been a little while. Who are you?
It has, right? Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Nick Longo, based in Los Angeles here, graphic designer and teacher at Cal State Northridge. I think we're gonna have a few of our some of our students popping in today, which will be kind of fun. Tell us about you, Andrew.
Hi, my name's Andrew Hochradel. I am out in Riverside, California, not too far from Nick. And I am a brand identity designer, all around just general creative for hire. I'll do whatever you want. And educator as well with Nick. Do a lot of streaming here on Behance and want to help you guys level up. That's kind of the zone that I love to be in, help you live your best, fullest, most creative life. Let me know where everyone's watching from. Go ahead and put in where you're watching from. Nick's down in LA. I'm in Riverside, just out. Let me know where you're watching from, and also let me know about the audio. I had some weird issues before, so if it sounds weird, let me know. If not, then just be like, quiet. All right. And yes,
Pretty good.
somebody said I'm in the Discord chat. Come hang out. Well, let me tell you about what that's all about.
Yeah. What is that all about?
Here, you can join our Discord right here, bit.ly/OH Hangout. And this is our channel to the rescue. You can go to that link and join. And there are some people hanging out in voice chat. Let's go ahead and hop in. This is my favorite thing because they're on delay. Let's go ahead and hop in here. Oh, hey guys, what's up? Oh, my mic's not on. All right, well, thanks for chatting, everyone. My mic's disabled in Discord, but you can go hang out in the mic chat right here and talk about the show. You can rag on Nick and I as we start talking, or just make some new friends. So let's go ahead and just hop right in. Where is the button that I want to push? Right here. Nick, I think that gosh, man, this is never going to get old.
We didn't do a prop. We didn't do a prop check. Are we prop? Are we
I'm
good?
ready. I'm ready. Yes.
I'm ready.
I mean,
ready.
I mean,
Look at us.
I organically.
You never know when it happens.
Yeah, you never know when organically we'll have to answer the call. Oh my goodness, the call's coming in. Let's go ahead and pick up our phones.
Hi Nick and Andrew, my name is Frida and I'm a student at California State University Northridge. It's portfolio season. Do you guys think you can help me out? I need help putting together a better Behance page, better case studies, and just overall making it more appealing and compelling. Do you guys have any advice or tips? And if you do, can you please send them my way? Thank you so much.
Sweet. So that's right. Today's episode is aptly named. Probably, guys, I'm really proud of this. Today's episode is enhancing your Behancing. That's right.
We all Behance.
Yes,
We all
we all Behance. I am actively Behancing, and we will be Behancing some more today. So we're going to be showing you how to build case studies. We're going to go into a little bit of theory of how to case study, and then show you some of the features on Behance to build case studies, to post them, to tag them, as well as how to convert it over to an Adobe Portfolio. So Nick and I are going to totally tag team today. No slides.
Yeah.
Well, okay, Nick snuck some slides in. I have no slides. We are just going to get super hands-on and show you all the things. And let's just go ahead and like hop right in, Nick, if we want to. Does that sound good to you?
Ready to go. Let's do it.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
We really want to kind of help you guys kind of up your game when it comes to what you're building on there. Boy, last year, do you remember how many times we looked at Behance portfolios and we saw really good work, but gosh, there was just not an order. There was not a presentation to put together in that actual thing.
Yes.
So we want to show you guys how to do that in a way we pushed 100% was this idea of the case study. That was number one, right? What is a case study? It's that example of a successful project you've completed, outlining the problem of the assignment and your solution and your approach. So what are those components? This is the best thing I've put together to even just show my students a lot of times what particularly you can put into this thing. You want to name it, title slide it, do something great. That's one thing we didn't see a lot of really when we were looking at a lot of the Behance ones, is like just some introductory slide that says welcome.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. Let us know
To
what's
the
going
project.
on. Just here's the experience we're about to take. Set a little bit of context,
Exactly.
right? We talked a lot about case studies being a journey. That's the place to like welcome them in, punch the ticket, let them know what their itinerary is and where you're going to be taking them.
Yeah. Another great one I love was when we said like put out the welcome out. Same idea.
Yes.
You got to kind of do it in each one of the projects that you're trying to show. And then comes the objective. And that objective could be really what particular thing that you did solve with this thing. What was the goal? You know, you have to have something for the viewer to understand what is my expectation in looking at this. So did you solve a particular problem for that brand? Did you introduce that brand? Did you rebrand that brand? Whatever it is, there's your objective. Now, the one area here that I put a little fun asterisk on is this idea of the process. And I love your input on this too. I think it's mostly being seen in younger designers, recent grads, where they should be showing a bit of their process because they might not have the 5 to 10 years experience in the workplace, where I think like an established designer or a studio might not be doing the process too much in their presentations. What do you think? Same idea?
Yes, definitely. I think that it's good to show process. When we get to mine, so Nick's going to do a little bit more of like a focused, refined, and I'm going to kind of show you, if you just have pieces, what to do. And so I love showing process in mine, and I think that mine actually leans more on just showing process and kind of like the dirtiness of it. And so I think either way is good. I think it's just different approaches. And I think that what gets me is the mix of the two. But if you take one side or the other, I think you're fine either way.
Yeah. And also, I think it depends on what the project is. I think sometimes if it's some revolutionary, weird thing you did, it might need some explanation as far as what the process was in between, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Like if it's a little out of the ordinary. And then last but not least is kind of your results. Now show it off, like show everything off in tons of different applications and really make the work speak for itself.
Yes.
And basically, what does that look like? So you can have one, this is for both ways. We're going to show you the multi-page build that kind of Andrew's going to run through, and I'm going to show you kind of like the one-page scroll idea. But the contents and the discipline here is really the same. So try to get that one page of a title with maybe the objective and some copy, 1 to 2 pages that show off that process. And then the rest of it, 3, 4, 5 pages, whatever it takes, show off that work in beautiful photography, beautiful renderings, whatever you're using. So this is what it looks like. You could do a multi-page. This could even be something that you export as a PDF if you need to. But the cool thing about Behance is you could build it any way you want down the entire length of this project. And then the way I'm going to show you is a way like this, where you're going to do like the one-page scroll going down, and seamlessly you can make it work, even if it's stuff from InDesign or from Illustrator, which is fantastic. What I kind of started doing was, in this one layout that I was trying to think of for here, is I'm going to show some packaging stuff off that I did for a client, and I want to build a presentation. And to me, it's one of the best things to do is do just the quick sketch. You're the only one that's going to see this, but what I like to do is do this so I can build all the assets separately, and I know what I'm plugging into my plan here. So I start from the very beginning. I get that intro and objective in there. I get some brand developments. This could be my process now. So it's like, what does the brand look like? How many logos are there? Is there a color palette? Am I showing off some patterns? Then we go into all the different applications. I write some notes off to the side. And this gives me an idea of even like what lifestyle images to look for and things like that. So from this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a file. And this is my way of doing it. You guys can do this in InDesign if you want. If you do it in Illustrator, you can do this at any size you want. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make an 11-inch wide by 8.5. So we're doing the letter size. And I'm doing it in the landscape orientation. Now here's where the boards. Assume, looking at my sketch, I'm probably going to need about 10 artboards, right? And what you're going to do is scroll down here to the more settings. And when you hit that, you get this here where you get columns and you get spacing. So what I want to do is I just want one long column. Okay, that to me, just for the visual of seamless, I'm going to get.
Hold on. Stream completely disconnected.
Uh-oh.
What is going on right now?
How has this happened?
Hold, please. Man,
Do you want me
why?
to try coming back into the same Zoom room, or are you good?
I am good. I'm gonna try some more stuff.
You've been your screen has been frozen on Zoom for a bit here.
Cool. All right. Hold on, everyone. We'll be back shortly.
Okay. Let's see.
All right. I think we're back, everyone. Good luck. All right. Nick's here. That's his screen. We're back. My area, every now and then, they just start working on things, or if it gets windy, or if it's raining, things get a little bit wonky. So I think we are back. The connection isn't great, but it's happening. So Nick, we're gonna have you just continue on and see what happens.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Did we have
everyone.
questions? Did we have questions that you were seeing that we want to hit?
I think we will cover them as we go through, so we can kind of just keep going here.
Okay, let's see. Do we have confirmation that we are back? Because I'm not seeing it on the other screen.
Yes, we are back now. We are back.
Oh, we are?
Yes.
Beautiful. All right, let's do it. That's great. All right, cool. So let's get to those questions later if we can. Hopefully we can get some back. We are back. Woo. All right. So what we did was we were over here when we last left, and we built simple artboards, one column, no spacing, perfect, right? So all I did was I had my original sketches, and I just started building out my whole presentation. And again, the artwork was mostly done. What I'm putting in mostly is like lifestyle images and some really great stuff. When I'm doing a Behance page too, what I do is I always make a little side artboard here for the cover image, because that's always a very custom size for your Behance. So I figured it out to be 5.4 by 4.2 inch. And I leave that there because all I'm gonna do is basically take a little snippet of my artwork here, bring it over, and I will now have this cool cover image when I do all my exporting and we get into Behance. So what's the next step here? You've used export for screens, right?
I use export for screens all the time. It is like my go-to for creating just like a million things at the same time.
Yeah, I can't remember who was, but one of the Adobe folks was presenting this at Max about 3 years ago, and I was like, game changer. So you basically go here, export for screens, all right? And here you have all your artboards. You just want to make sure each one of them is all checked. So I'm just gonna check each one of those. And I also have here my cover, which is really cool to have as well. So I'm gonna just click all these, ready to go. Now, do you title your artboards?
I do. I very, very methodically do, especially when I'm exporting for screens, because I need to know what's on each one. And it helps to where if I export things, then everything's named for me. I don't have to go back file by file. So yes, I very much title them.
Perfect. So ready to go. I did not do this here. At least they're numbered, so I know my order. That's all I really kind of need to know for this. Now you go over to this area, we got formats, and I'm just going to do these as JPEGs. But what I'm going to do, and this is really up to you guys based on speed and uploads, I tend to find about 175 DPI. I know it's a weird one, but it works best for the 8.5 by 11 size I'm doing. Good enough resolution, and it loads nice and fast on Behance.
Yep.
So
and
do that.
A great question from Jiratima. Is there any
Yes.
difference between export for screens and export as? What's the difference between those two?
I think export as is just a quick one-time only, right? Whereas
Exactly.
here, what export for screen does is, if you notice here, I can make all these different versions of what I need in
Yes.
one click. Okay, so let's say you need a 72 DPI, 150, a 300, an RGB, a CMYK. This is literally making your logo package in one click.
Yep.
So yes,
Absolutely. So yes,
That's the
there are a
difference.
lot of settings that you can change in export for screens to do a bunch of things at the same time. You can set your PNGs to always have transparent backgrounds. It is 8.5 by 11. Yes, we're working on. And so I think export for screens is for bulk exporting, where export as
Yeah.
is just for individual exports.
There you go. Perfect way. So the other thing I'm going to do too is I'm going to take, you can actually include the bleed or not. I'm going to take that off. We don't need that. And then I've got it at JPEG, and I'm just putting a suffix of SF for the title of my thing here. Now you're going to basically click here, and I'm going to just put this on my desktop, so I know where to find it really quick. And that is going to make, actually, I would just export it to my file. You know, it's just making a folder. Now you hit export. And what you're going to do is your Finder is going to pop up with that particular thing here. And at 175, there's all my artboards ready to go. And we're going to place them into Behance. So I've just made that ready to go. I'm going to close that. And let's go over to here. Question? Or
So yeah, I was
Yeah.
just gonna say, so when you're building this in Illustrator, you can do this in Photoshop, you can do this in Illustrator, wherever. Focus on just doing each of those slides and making those slides look gorgeous. You will have to worry about the flow of it eventually, but it's really nice to do in Photoshop or Illustrator because you're able to not have to like finagle things in Behance. You can kind of just do these big giant images, and I'll show you how to do it in Behance. But it's really nice to do it in another program and then just bring it in as slides like Nick is showing you.
Yeah, and I know too, when you do it this way, you're not getting live text in your, if you're popping this to your website or anything. So again, what I've done in the past is I've taken these paragraphs and I've put them in like the background, or I put them in where you can actually drop in SEO stuff for each image.
Yep.
Just a way for it to be found in the same way.
Yes, which I'll
But I
show
know
you
it's
how to
kind of
do on your Adobe Portfolio when we get there.
perfect. So here we go. Now let's get into Behance. So Frida, this is just for you. Let's get it going. So get to your Behance page. First thing you're going to do is create a project. Okay. And from here, now you have this great kind of editor ready to go. And I'm just going to start building it by putting in images. I don't have to do a photo grid or text or anything. That's what Andrew's going to do. You'll see that. So I'm just going to hit images, and then I'm going to go to my 175, and I'm going to select all these and just hit open. And what it's going to do, it's going to calculate and put these all in there. And in most cases, it really comes out to the same exact image.
Can you upload?
that?
Did you just upload all of them at the same time? Did you just select
Yeah.
them and shoot?
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, isn't that great?
That's so easy.
Here, it's such a neat idea. I love that. So here I can get rid of this one because that's going to be my cover image. So I don't need that. But now I'm just going to go through and I'm like, yep, these are all in the right order. Now let's notice the spacing, right? So it's got spacing right now, but I'm just going to look through all here. It's in the right order because I had them numbered. So I'm going to go back to the top. And then all I'm going to do is I think I'm going to just hit settings. And I'm assuming, wait, cancel. Let's see. Spacing. That
It's in
would be
settings.
It's in settings?
It might be in styles, actually. It's in styles.
Let's see. You're right. More styles. There we go. Oh, perfect. Look at that. So see, right now it's got 60 pixels. Whoop. Save. Look at that. It is
Boom.
completely seamless. Looks like an award-winning agency and their portfolio website that they've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on, and we just did that in 5 seconds.
Yes, and somebody asked, can it be done in InDesign? In theory, yes,
Oh.
but it'd probably be the hardest. It'd probably be the most complicated, hardest way to do this. Like of all the programs, InDesign's probably the worst solution for doing something like this.
And don't you feel too, it's about the one you feel the most powerful in, the one that you're most, I know tons of people that would go right to InDesign to
Yep.
lay out that. I get a lot of people saying, why are you doing it in Illustrator? And I say, because I don't use InDesign. It's not something I am a master of in any way. So this is ready to go. So I'm all good here. So now you basically just hit continue. You can go through here. I can title this. So you're ready to go. I will put everything here.
And this is something, the next thing that we're going to talk about, this will be your homework this week. And I want to make sure you guys like know how to do this, because if you ever do a creative challenge, if you're ever doing something here on office hours, if you're ever doing something where someone says, hey, post and make sure you tag Illustrator Daily Challenge, you know, whatever the tag is, this is where the tags are. I see so many projects that it's in the title or it's somewhere else. This is where the tags are. When you hit continue, right there on project tags, you can type in whatever you want that tag to be, and then we'll be able to find it. So Nick, as we go through here, what's the homework going to be so we can show them what to post?
Yeah, you're going to be putting a Behance project together and sending us a link, posting it somewhere on social media, and including our hashtag, correct?
Yes, exactly. So make sure that when you're posting your project for this week on your Behance, make sure in that project tags section that's right there under the title, you're putting Adobe Office Hours as one of those tags, and we'll be able to find it, search it, and then hopefully we'll be able to see everyone's as they put them in there. I know Golden Rose, you said you had some content to put in. And so make sure that you put the Adobe Office Hours there, and then right underneath, Nick was tagging the different tools that he used as well. You can do all kinds of categories and fun stuff. And then
this is great.
It really is, and it's easy for searchability. On the other side, if you're on Behance looking for something, it's super easy to search using these of like, oh man, I want to find something of like advanced Photoshop, whatever it is. Super easy to find that using this categorized system.
Here's the last thing too. Don't forget, we made our cover photo. Always do it first, because trust me, you're going to be at this stage. You're going to be like, oh, I got to make a cover image, because it is a different kind of size, and we already made it. So I'm just going to go to edit cover. You go to the plus sign, go back to our thing here, and I believe it is the last artboard, ready to go. Boom. And I have a system. I usually do a image from my case study with the white logo, with the logo of the brand over it with a little bit of a drop shadow. I darken the background a little bit, and you'll see how that works in a second. So I'm just going to hit crop. So I'm going to hit save as a draft. Now, of course, you can write all that great copy in there. I always suggest you spend a little bit of time at doing that. But what I'll do is I'll show you the completed one that I did. So I'm going to head back to here.
And in that window at the bottom, you also can add in co-owners. You can add in the different collaborators, give credits. Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that great? I love that. So here's the finished project, and you can see it goes through everything. Everything scrolls really nicely. You don't even know where the page seam is because of the way it just butts it up to each other perfectly. And it works all the way through. And so what's nice too is this is how I'm setting it up. I tend to try to find a system here where it's got the white logo, and that way I just figured it adds to a nice aesthetic to your own page, which is kind of nice. But a neat thing too is these tool things are great. I think one or two of them, when Adobe finds a project and you get a highlight, you get your little badge. Adobe Dimension's a great one because everyone's pretty new to it. So get that in there. You can see the only one I got.
Exactly. And there are a bunch of places to get featured. There are galleries for the Daily Creative Challenges now. And so if you are tagging the AI Daily Challenge or the PS Daily Challenge, you can get featured in a gallery for those Daily Creative Challenges, which is great. It gets more eyes on your work. It gets great exposure. A lot of people are asking, like, how do I get noticed? Behance is a great way if you're getting featured on those. Very, very easy.
One question before we move over to yours. What's your preference when it comes to laying out a presentation or case study and sticking it to your brand, or keeping it maybe with the assets and the fonts and the typography of the brand you're highlighting?
I usually go to the brand that I'm highlighting because I kind of want to like further that world.
Exactly.
I have a lot of personal project stuff on my Behance, and so some of it is themed in my aesthetic, but then there is some that is completely off. That's like, oh, this is just the world of whatever the project was and whoever the client was.
Yeah, and I've done the same too, where I think I like to bring in mostly the type, and maybe just if it's a very busy, wild brand, maybe my case study gets a little bit more busy and wild. But if it's a little more subtle of a brand, I keep the presentation in line with that. But I love tweaking it a little bit. I think sometimes when it's just a very vanilla brand outline or template and you just populate it with other people's work, it feels like it's missing a little bit. So to me, I like that idea of, changing it up per the brand, or at least the feel.
Yep, absolutely. So let's go ahead and hop over and continue on here. So I'm going to do a case study in a little bit of a different way. And just straight up, this is not going to look as good as Nick's, which is fine. If you have... if you're working and you need to pull something together, again, Behance is a fantastic way to do that. And here's how we're going to do it, just having different pieces of assets. Coming over to my screen, we're going to go to create a project, which was where Nick was. And instead of just pulling in all those images, I'm going to start pulling things in one by one. So I did a project. It was for a beekeeping company. And this company makes honey, and they're called Colony and Keeper. And so I did all the branding, collateral, packaging, all that stuff for them. Yes, so that is collaboration with my old agency, Black Roses, Maria Pice, Dex Alexander, lots of fun people who I will credit as collaborators on here on Behance. And so we can simply click on an image because I know that I have an image that I need. So I can go into my Colony and Keeper folder. I've got a little case study folder, and you can see here that there's a lot of random things, right? Some of these are slides that I had in the pitch deck. Some of these are stickers that we had exported, right? That I'm not going to pull it all together. I just want to put something up real quick. This isn't, a huge project with a case study. This is kind of just like, hey, I worked on this thing. Here's the thing. I think it's cool. So let's put it up on Behance. So what I can do to start out is do a big header. So I can just click here, and you can just double click on these and it will upload. If there is buffering, I am going to stop doing this project, depending on how much bandwidth this is going to pull with me trying to upload things. So we can start with a big image here, and then you can see that we can just hover over the bottom here, and it's going to have insert media. So we can do each piece and kind of build top to bottom as we go. So I can also click up here on text, and I'm going to click text, and it will just go down to the next piece. So I'm going to do Colony and Keeper brand identity. So this is something you can come in here, you can format the text, and Nick has done all his in Illustrator, in Photoshop, but you can actually do it here in Behance, and that way it's readable, it's accessible, it is searchable, and we can just put this in, let's put it in Bookman, and change it to our header. We're going to center that. So there's a lot of formatting that you can do on this to make everything look cohesive and gorgeous. So then we can add another text box under that and just type something in like, on this project, we will be investigating Colony and Keeper and how we whatever, right? We talked about case studies of kind of putting the goal at the beginning and kind of where we're going to be going. And so this could be a section that you just type that in. I'm going to pull it in nonsense for now so we don't waste time just writing copy here. So that's where we put in a little bit of a description. Let's paste that a couple times. And then you can format that. So we can come in here and put this as a subheader and maybe set it in Bookman as well. Set it to the left there. Looks good to me. So if we want to, we can start adding more things in here, right? So I want to add in some of the little elements that we have. So I'm going to click on image, insert media, and I'm going to do image, and let's do a cool image of the different, actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's add in a gallery next. So one of the other options is to do a photo grid. And this is great if you want to lay out multiple things without having to like make its own slide. So we can go to photo grid and we are going to do images. It also fully integrates into Lightroom. And so if you are a photographer, if you're working in Lightroom, you can pull out of your Lightroom libraries into Behance very easily. We're gonna go ahead and pull from images, and we're going to do a little explanation of who they are. So we'll show off the packaging that we did right here. We're gonna select this image, and I'm just gonna double click, and you'll see it uploads. Then I'm gonna click on the edit. I'm going to hit edit grid, and I can add as many photos as I want. So I'm going to upload files. Let's go ahead and put in this description right here. Then we have our buy bees. This kind of is just a slide, and this is straight from the pitch deck. So I didn't create this for the case study. It was in the pitch deck, and so I can just grab it and kind of piece it together with other assets. So we're going to hit done here. And you'll see now that, right, it's starting to look a little bit better. It's starting to have those pieces. And I'm going to add another photo grid under here and add in the opposite order. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pull in a picture from there, and we actually can select both of these just holding Control or Option. And I want it to kind of alternate back and forth. And so we can just come in here, we can edit, and we can reorder project. Oh, sorry. I can edit and edit grid. And then I can simply click and drag this and pull it over to the other side. So we're gonna hit done, and now it is over on that other side, looking good and looking gorgeous.
Look at how it's like you found the way to design so customized within these very simple tools. It's so cool how it looks.
Yep. And all of these, again, are things that were just like in the pitch deck, right? And so I exported.
These weren't specially made.
No, not for the case study. So I also exported these little stickers that we had made for them. And so using a gallery, again, I can simply grab these 3 stickers and hit open, and it's going to size them for me. It's going to put them in the orientation that we need. It's going to order them. I can move them around however I want, but now we have this nice little pop out of like, here's their colors, here's their slogans. It really puts that in perspective. And then we can go back and forth doing different sections, right? So I can add in another text section and say, you know, logo type, and put this in our header that we've designated before. There we go. We did Bookman right here. And then underneath that, I'm going to drop in this GIF that I made. So the great thing about Behance, it supports videos, it supports GIFs, it supports like multimedia of any kind. I believe that you can actually embed XD prototypes in there, which is really cool. So you can do a bunch of embedding if you have custom videos, any of that stuff. And I'm just going to upload this little logo type that I made. This is a GIF that kind of shows how we created the logo type and kind of the name logo that we presented to them as just a nice little pop of something. And then from there, I'm just going to do another gallery and just drop in a bunch of the other stuff to kind of show the other work that we did. So we're going to do some billboards here. Maybe we'll show off the different pieces that we created for them. A body scrub. We did some pomade. And just drop those in using, again, those different gallery pieces. So maybe we'll do some of the process as well. We'll put in some sketches. Let's do that one. So we can hit OK, and it's just going to order this whole thing for us. And what I actually want to show you, I'm going to delete one of these. I'm just going to delete the colors once these upload, is it will resize and reorder things so that everything looks symmetrical still. So if you have an odd number, right now we have an even number, but you'll see once I delete one of these, it will make it so that there's probably 3 on top and 2 big ones on the bottom. And so that's really great if you have a bunch of random assets to be able to just kind of auto flow things without having to deal too much with kind of organization and making sure everything is where it needs to be. Just another second on this upload, and then I'll go in and reorder.
It's so cool.
So there we go. So I'll go in here. I'm going to reorder. Oops. I'm going to edit this grid and we'll just delete one of these. So I'm going to delete the color one just because it's in there, and hit done. And now you can see that it's resized so that I have the 2 on the bottom there, right? Maybe I want the 3 different components that we made for them. So I can simply drag this up here. And now because of the sizing, it's going to show us the top 2 and then pull all the components down below, which is what we want. So this looks good to me. And again, you can just click and add text in here. I would add more description. I'd add way more description in these and kind of go back to the principles that we had. But even with stuff like this, we can again go into those styles and we can pull it so that there's no spacing, or maybe just a little bit of spacing. So we have a little bit of break, and hit save. And now we've got this case study, right? It's looking good. It's looking a little bit tight right now, but it is all these pieces. We didn't have to design anything. It's all just individual things that we've put together.
Yeah, it's such a shortcut for having just the assets you have that could be so random.
It really is.
You haven't had the time. You haven't had the time to like standardize everything. It's doing it for you, and I think that's fairly new to me. I love this idea of doing it like this. This is great.
Yes. All right, so let's go ahead and Nick, I think you want to show off some work. Let's show off one of these case studies, and then let's hop over to Adobe Portfolio, because that's a whole other side of Behance.
I think we have a call coming.
Sorry.
How'd you know what the next call is going to be?
I'm currently thinking of 90 things and doing internet tests and talking on Slack.
Yeah, what you don't know is we're actually in the future after that whole mess up.
Yikes. All right, so let's go ahead and look at your example first, and then we can get back to it.
And what's funny was I was looking at this. This is from Robot Food. They're a great agency to check out on Behance. They have a great page. But I noticed this is a combination of both what I did and what you did. So they brought in actual images, but then they did some of their own versions of text in between. They used the photo gallery here. They brought in more text, but you can see they really go through the process. And because they're showing off something that they designed from scratch, like this bottle, they're getting into these really great images and then embedding a video. This is fantastic. Going through the process, you can see there's your photo grid that you did as well. So you can almost do a combination of these things, which would be like a bit of a hybrid. And again, just beautiful, beautiful stuff. And this is just, to me, sometimes what you can be doing instead of having a full-blown website.
Yep.
You're doing it, and our next step will even show you that. But look at how they brought their standards in.
Yep,
fantastic.
Absolutely. And I really think
one day I will go here.
Yes, I really think the secret is, if you have a pitch deck, like leverage as much as you can out of the pitch deck so you're not doing double work. And so I did a similar thing here on an actual project that I posted, is having these little pieces in between and kind of mixing with captions, having actual kind of big images, but trying to have some breakup that explains what's happening in the system, what's going on, but then having those big kind of, and I love doing slides that kind of come together in a cohesive, like slide. Again, this is all just taken from the pitch deck, right? We did all these mock-ups. We embedded a video here, another video down here, and then this is the full client brief. So this is just a gallery, and the great thing about galleries is if I want to find out something more and look at like, cool, I want to look at this board, I can click and it will bring it up full screen. So this is a great way to pull out details, to have those galleries with all the different pieces without kind of overwhelming and having it scroll too long. I think that this project actually scrolls way too long, but galleries are a great way to avoid that.
Yeah, I think too, if you ever do a really good, like you said, a sales deck, or if you do your own pitch deck for business or whatever, do like what we said as well, export that into multi images and build a tiny little case study and keep it in your Behance page. I think this is like just a collect all for everything. It's just so wonderful. You know?
Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and hop back into talking. Oh, actually, hold on. We're going to hop back into, I think we're getting a call. I can't do this anymore.
Hey guys, my name is Indra Escobar and I am also a student at California State University, Northridge. I have one quick question regarding Adobe Portfolio. I've got my Behance page set up and well populated. How can I transfer it over to a portfolio site to make it even better? Thank you.
All right, so we're looking on, the question was, how do we transition your Behance profile over to an Adobe Portfolio site? Literally the easiest thing. If you don't have a website, like, and you do have a Behance, we can show you how to do this in like 4 clicks. Like,
I love it.
It is the definition of working smarter, not harder. And you know, we love that here on Office Hours. Also, Nick, is your header like a GIF that cycles between things?
No.
Okay.
No.
Cool.
Yeah, oh, what a great.
Well, I'm glad to know I'm hallucinating. I saw it out of the corner of my eye and I was like, why is it changing?
Good thing you're okay.
That's not. I'm glad I'm still here. All right, so I'm gonna.
Now that would be cool.
Do you want me to kind of show this off, Nick, or do you want me to kind of walk through the process and have you do it on your screen?
I'd love to. Let's set one up and then you can take it over.
Let's do it. Go for it.
All right. So let's go. I'm gonna do. So I want to pick one that, let's say, we're just gonna go to Portfolio, right?
Yes. So yes, it literally is a button that's on your Behance, and it will say make Adobe Portfolio, I believe, for the first time. And so we're going to go into edit Adobe Portfolio, and just like that, it brings you to this page. And if you don't already have one, you are going to click on New Site, which I think this is going to do.
There we go. Perfect. Love it.
So from here, there are some great templates. And the great thing about these templates, we'll look at in a second, that these are coded and programmed for web, for mobile, for tablets, wherever you want it. It's already ready to go. So Nick, let's go ahead and pick one that you feel like is your vibe.
Yeah. So knowing that I've got the tiles, and I love that it shows you the little mobile preview alongside, right? So like, let's go with, this looks kind of nice. I'm going to go with this one. So
agreed.
Matthias. All right. Perfect. So now look at this. I get a nice little preview and off to use this theme.
Yeah. So up in the corner there, we can, Yep. Right there. So use this theme. What it's doing right now is it's literally taking everything in Nick's Behance, which is like, you have a lot of projects with a ton of content, and it's taking all of that and it's running it through Adobe Sensei technology. It's sprinkling It's sprinkling that Adobe Magic. It's doing the little like Salt
Exactly.
Bay, but with Adobe Magic.
Yes.
And it is going to pull all that content and then create a website for us, which is awesome. And Cody
You wanna
Bear says,
take it
sorry.
over from here?
Oh yeah, so
go
Cody
ahead.
Bear says, been using it for years now, and it's free with an Adobe CC sub. That is right, it is free and included in your Creative
Exactly.
Cloud. So let's hop back over here, and with
Oh,
all
it
of
already,
that,
yeah, and it did it that quickly. Look at that.
boom,
But way
just
too
like
much
that,
stuff.
we have yes, we have Nick's website, Adobe Portfolio, ready to go, and I'm going to hop over and kind of take over from here.
Let's
So
see it.
Nick has a bunch of different pieces there, but I'm going to hop over to my Adobe Portfolio, and Nick, if you can manage chat, I'm going to pull over here.
Let's do it.
So I'm going to go to my edit Adobe Portfolio. I'm going to do the same thing, and let's see here. You know what? Let's pull my actual one just because I kind of use it. So let's go ahead and pull this over here. I'm okay changing it up. So this is my aesthetic. I like things that are like crazy and weird and nasty. And actually, you know what? Let's do it. Let's leave it. So what I can do here is I'm going to actually pick and change my theme. And so we're going to hit here. We're going to do Hagen. It's going to convert my site over, and there we go, looking good. So what I can do is there's a bunch of settings that you can change, right? I can turn my logo on and off up at the top there, you'll see. We can turn off the navigation if we don't want people to kind of get around. We also can do different categories, which is great. So here you see I have an in-house work page, and that's going to filter just the things that I have tagged as in-house work. There also are integrations. If you'd like, you can integrate Behance, Lightroom, Adobe Stock, and kind of import different collections of work as well.
Yeah.
So
Real quick question.
Yes.
Can you bring in other things that are not from Behance onto Portfolio?
You know, I'm not sure is the answer to that question.
I think the quick runner, or like the little quick way I would imagine doing it is having it on Behance but turning it off and then turning it on Portfolio.
Yes.
Because you basically are switching all these projects. You choose what is showing and what is hidden.
Yes.
So that might be a way. But I think Chris's question was more about maybe having something totally different, but just build it on Behance. I think because it populates from there. It has to come from, that's the source.
Yes,
Correct?
exactly. So you can publish it on Behance, and actually right here in Essentials, if you click on Pages, it shows you all the different pages. So right now I don't have anything categorized as in-house work. I'm still working on uploading those, but what's great is if I had things tagged on my Behance, they would actually go into that category. And here, right, I don't want this in-house on, and so I can click and it will bring the next project up for me. And let's see, these little blogs that I have put up, I kind of did a bunch of blogs about freelance, but I just want to turn these off so that I have all of my work forward. So I can turn off all these posts by just clicking, and now it's curated to just the work that I want to show, which looks good to me. And so you can have stuff on your Behance that doesn't convert over to your portfolio.
And then vice versa, because you can hide one on Behance or whatever. Quick question too. I think so you were saying, I'm going to get rid of these ones because I only want this. But the cool thing is you have 5 different portfolios that you can actually build under your account. So you can make a whole other portfolio that is just those things, right?
Yep. So the great thing is, so yeah, even with these pages, I can hit plus, and maybe I want to do a collection, and this collection is going to be blogs.
Yeah.
So create collection, and from there, we have blogs, and we can go ahead and let's see here. We can pull in. Oh boy, that's not what I wanted. I need to tag them. But if I had my blogs tagged, I can pull them over into that collection and then have a page that's just blogs. So you can make multiple pages as long as you're tagging those projects. You can pull them over into these different pages here. So build a fully functional full website. And if you want to, there's a lot of settings over on the corners as well to change the backgrounds and the font. So let's say I want a dark. Boom. Easy. Dark. We also can come over here. Oops, wrong button. We also can come over here, change out the fonts if we want. Let's do some Futura. That's looking good there. And the background, I think that I want a little bit of texture. And so you can set different colors for the background, but I really want a cool texture here that I've created. So I'm going to hit open. And with that, there are all kinds of settings to say if you want to tile the background, if you want to stretch the background, if you want to do anything with the background. There will be settings once I upload this. This is a big file. I shouldn't have done that. Right. So there we go. It is uploading. There we go. So now I have my texture in the background looking good, and we can resize that and do some things by clicking on image options. We want it to be center, and we're just going to cover as much content as possible. And there we go. Now we've got that big stretched texture in the background. We also can use global page styles so that everything is consistent across the
that's fantastic.
Across the platform. We can turn on and off the mastheads so that you can make it so when they land here, it's like just your work right away. Super customizable to do all kinds of things. And Nick, sorry,
Laura had a quick question.
Yes.
Can you show how to create a multi-page project in Adobe Portfolio? Well, but it's coming from Behance. So if you've made the multi-page vibe that Andrew did previously, then it will be in Portfolio.
Yes, let me...
It's like you're not creating anything in Portfolio. You're just using what you've already populated.
Exactly.
Correct. I just want to make sure we get that right. Okay, good.
Yes, and let me see if I can go ahead and pull some of these over into collection. With yours, Nick, I believe that there are some functionalities for that navigation on the left. If you want to go into your settings and work on the, I believe it's in backgrounds and font. Oh, actually, talk about that stuff. I meant to cover that as well. So in each of these, you can do all kinds of analytics. You can do tracking.
Great.
You can put in your favicons, all that kind of stuff. And it will make it so that all is searchable, all goes together and kind of...
Look at that.
Exactly, yes.
Meta tags, favicon, perfect. That's great. That's great. Love it.
Something else that we can do just on our actual Behance portfolio. Oh, I didn't show your screen. Okay, let's go ahead and show your screen.
Oh,
can you walk through those
on.
one more time and kind of just show off those?
This is all in the settings, guys. So everything from now, here's where you can connect your domain that you already own or purchase one through here if you don't have it already. Homepage stuff. Love the analytics here. Also to your favicon, meta tags, everything's included in here, which is great. So I think a lot of people might be confused that if this becomes your website, how do you customize it more on top of this? It's a way of doing it if you are not going to another service that is doing something very similar.
Yes,
correct?
Exactly.
Like, you know, I mean, it's really for those folks that are like, I mean, I'm not web savvy in any way. So to me, having an option like this is really great, you know?
Yes, I definitely 100% agree. And it's just easy to continue kind of pulling things. And if you're doing it on Behance, why do the double work of putting it somewhere else? Just leave it in one space and then everything just goes through.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just saying, but when we import it from Behance, it's a one-page project. Well, typically you're still gonna, the only way it works is that scrolling process. But I guess the difference between what Andrew and I did was I made a seamless one that I'm not gonna incorporate any of the tools that Behance did. He used it more as a scrolling one page, but it's multi-pages built.
Yes, exactly. And so the great thing too is coming back over to my screen here, which was already on, and I didn't realize, but you can come over here and if you click on these projects, it's going to reformat these projects as well for the new theme. And the cool thing is it is fully editable in the actual portfolio. So you don't have to go back to Behance to change it. I can come in here and I can edit this text and you can kind of work on the fly to make sure that it looks good both on the site as well as on Behance through both of those. We can come in here, we can edit the image, we can reorder, we can add alt text for different accessibility functions, captions, we can link images, all of that straight out of Adobe Portfolio, which is fantastic. We can change the widths. If I want to pull this through, it'll make it smaller. We can align it left and right. So if I want to pull something to the left, it will pull it all the way over there. We can change all the padding and spacing. I know people were asking actually about this. You can do this in Adobe Portfolio. I don't think this functionality is in individual pieces on Behance yet. Maybe it's coming, but it does exist here. So if you want to kind of tweak these a little bit, you can update that site and do it on the actual Adobe Portfolio site as you're pushing it through. This also will give you a custom link, so you can share this link and go straight through into that link.
That's a great idea too, because it becomes a separate link other than Behance, and they go right to your portfolio page bypassing that, which is great.
Exactly.
Can you quickly look at your preview for how it's going to look on mobile?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Because
So
I love the way they show you that preview. So I think the fact is you can't make a mistake. It's going to look, whatever you do here looks great in mobile.
exactly. So oh, this got really weird. Mine got weird because of the background spacing.
Oh, gotcha. Where
Yeah.
would it be on let's see. Is that
You can
in
actually
Pages?
just pull that window in, and it should adapt as you pull that window and scale it down. It should adapt everything into there. So if you pull, just like literally shrink that entire window, it should reorder everything.
Gotcha. Like this.
Yep.
So cool. All right, perfect. So you can see what it's going to do as a responsive site.
Live
Gotcha.
and real.
But here, this is great too, because look, I can go back to some of those olden days and say like, nope, don't need them. Those could just live on my Behance, not on the real professional site.
And we've
so
talked,
you get to control everything. And
yeah,
put them in order.
We've talked a
Bragging.
bunch about curating and seeing like old work going away, new work coming in. This is a great way to curate and like pull things in order, to hide things, to pull things up. You can really curate this like your Instagram feed, but then you can leave everything up on Behance to engage with the community as well.
Yes. And you could do like an About Me page, and you can do a bunch of things like that as well, correct?
Yes. Yep. So you can add in pages and add additional customization there as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's powerful.
That's perfect.
Nick, what is our
yes.
homework for this week? We have 1 minute left.
Okay,
So what is
okay.
our homework for this week?
Yeah. Build a Behance project. We'd love to see you do something that just surprises us. Drop in some video, do it kind of the multi-way, maybe even the hybrid way of us. And use those photo grids. That would be just fantastic. And then tag Adobe Office Hours in your tag section when you're creating the project.
Yes, exactly. So make sure hashtag Adobe Office Hours, put it in those tags so we'll be able to see it on Behance. And what are we going to be giving away, Nick?
That's a great question.
It is.
A new.
It's not a new one yet. We got more of the back to school package
There
from
you
Adobe
go.
next week. We will have updated new prizes, but actually no, we will have updated new prizes because we'll be doing the giveaway next week. So we will have a
There you
new
go.
prize package for you next week. Make sure you're
Yeah.
posting literally any projects just on Behance and use the tag Adobe Office Hours. You'll be entered, and come join us in Discord. We're gonna hang
Yeah.
out right after this. You can grab the link right there. Somebody posted a screenshot of my desktop. I'm glad there's nothing weird. So thanks for that. Gosh.
Oh, and big thanks to Frida and Andrea for doing our
Yes.
call-ins today. Thank you guys. So great.
Yes, so we will see you next week. Actually, we'll see you right now over in Discord. Go hop over there. We'll be on in like 2-3 minutes, and we'll catch up and talk all about the dumpster fire that was happening behind the scenes as things burn to the ground on this episode.
Thanks for being patient with us, guys.
Thanks, guys. Come back next week for another episode of Adobe Office Hours, where we will continually put out fires as we teach you new things and help you level up your portfolios. See you later.
See y'all later.